Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Kinga and I'm making YouTube videos to document for myself and some of my friends how I reinvent myself and my life after divorce. In the previous video I mentioned that I keep meeting women who are going through what I'm going through or what I've been going through, divorce, and contemplating getting a divorce, feeling a bit uncertain if they should stay or they should leave. And strangely, their stories are very similar to mine. Some of them have been married for exactly the same amount of years, or have been together with their current partner or husband for the same amount of years, or they got to the circumstances or the situation where they got to feel this uncertainty the same way as I did. So there are lots of similarities, and I believe that these encounters are truly magical. And I felt that for so many of these women, and for me as well, it felt like it was definitely not a coincidence that we met. It was like we had to meet because we sort of needed each other at that moment, or they needed me to have someone to talk to because they might have not had anyone else around them that they could discuss this very sensitive issue with, because some of them fear what kind of reactions they would get from their relatives, or they may not just felt ready to actually share it with their friends. And someone totally strange, yet someone who can absolutely relate to them and their stories came along, me. It just, it was truly a magical encounter for them, and definitely for myself as well. So I believe that we attracted each other into our lives probably because we were at the same stage of our lives and we were having the same vibration, or also because maybe they just sent this desire out to the universe that, hey, I need someone to talk to, or I need someone to help me show the way, what decision shall I make, or like whatever. I mean, I think you get my point. We had to meet. For example, this girl that I met last weekend was exactly at the same stage where I was back in April, having been together with her husband for 7 years, married 2 years, and just not 100% sure about staying. However, she knows that her husband is a great guy. Everyone in her family loves him. He's a great husband, and she feels really stupid for even wanting to leave after 2 years of marriage. And also, mainly because of the culture where she's coming from, she's really worried about how her parents going to react when she breaks the news, or if she breaks the news. In this video, I just wanted to give my thoughts, what I would do, or how I would make a decision, when the decision is so crucial yet very difficult to make, because a part of you wants to move on, but a part of you feels stupid for it and wants to stay because you have a great relationship, a great marriage. I mean, certain aspects work perfectly fine and you feel safe and secure with the person. Yet there's something in you that just doesn't allow you to fully relax. So basically, where a part of you wants to move on and a part of you wants to stay. And this indecisiveness is eating you from the inside. The women I meet really want to know how I make my decision. They ask for my thoughts on how to be sure which decision to make or what would be the right step for them. Now, I'm not an expert or a coach, and I would definitely not want to encourage anyone to get a divorce. Also because my relationship CV is probably not the most ideal, meaning that I had tons of relationships. It's not like, I'm a person who's been married to the same guy for decades. No, I had tons of relationships, and every time I found that, hey, there's something about this, it's probably not gonna work, most of the time I left. Of course, I tried to work on the issues, but most of the time I got to the conclusion where I thought leaving is the best option. And to be honest with you guys, I never really regretted it. I think that having gone through so many relationships have actually helped me become the person who I am today. It helped me grow. It helped me learn so much about relationships, about man, about myself in particular, and I have zero regret about having left so many times. I also feel that the more contrast I get in relationships, the more non-functioning relationships I got, the more clear I got about my desire for a relationship or for a person that I want to be with. And so it has all gotten me closer to my ideal partner. And my husband, my ex-husband, was definitely one of those ideal partners. There was just one certain aspect that wasn't that important for me at the time of our meeting. Therefore, probably it wasn't present in our relationship. And later on, when I grown even further, it became very important for me, but by then it was a bit too late, and it was like, this is something that we're not gonna be able to fix. So I had to make the decision. And also what helped me in making the decision was because I was really contemplating, like I was thinking for such a long time, and I know how difficult it is when you have to make such a huge decision, and there's so many things that you need to take into consideration. So what really helped me, what gave me the final push, was something that I was talking about in the previous video, which I'm going to link in the description below, was asking for a sign from the universe. And if you watch that video, you will also understand that it was definitely a sign for me to go. And you may be also a very spiritual person. You may also feel connected, during meditation and stuff. And if that's the case, I definitely suggest you to also ask for a sign. If that's not the case, then, we have to be a bit more realistic here. And as I said, I would never want to encourage any of you to get a divorce. But I personally think that if you are already at the stage where you are thinking about should you stay or should you go, if you have this uncertainty inside you, then probably the relationship that you're in is not the right one for you. I truly believe that if there's a spark of uncertainty in you about your current partner or about your marriage, then there's definitely something missing there. And then it's just, the question of, is it something that you can work on? Or is it something that you better get from somewhere else? Or you can only get from somewhere else? And for me, what also can be a sign, not that spiritual sign from the universe, but a sign for myself is if I keep getting this feeling, like regularly, like for example, I get this feeling and I sort of put it aside and I calm down and I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely staying. But this uncertainty keeps coming back every, once in a while, then there's definitely something there that I need to look deeper into. For example, for me, probably every 2 years, I felt this uncertainty, but I knew that I wasn't ready to leave. And I knew that I didn't want to leave because I loved the connection that we had, and whatever was missing didn't seem to be as important as all the other things that we had. And that was still the case, in April, when I actually said to my then husband that I think we should get a divorce. I still felt the same way about this missing piece as not being that huge or something, but then I just got to the conclusion that now I'm 39 and I still want to not necessarily explore, but I still want to give myself the chance, even though it's risky, to go out there and find someone like you, where I have this amazing connection and understanding of each other, yet I also have the missing piece, so maybe I could have the total package. So I definitely took a risk. But I also always believe that whenever you're brave enough to stand up for yourself and you know, make a step towards change for the better, I'm pretty sure that the universe is going to support you, or whoever or whatever. But I'm just so 100% sure that you're gonna get support on your way, and whatever your desire is something that you definitely gonna find, or it's gonna come to you. Also, something very important when you are making a decision, it could be, you know, the marriage versus, I mean, the staying versus leaving decision, but it could be any other decision. And this is something I learned from Abraham Hicks, is never ever make a decision in a negative feeling state. You know, when you're frustrated or angry or sad, or, you know, whenever you feel a negative emotions, it's just not going to be a decision that is made with a clear consciousness. You know, you're going to be affected, and often, you know, your feelings is going to distort your real inner message or feeling. So whenever you're feeling negative emotions, know that it's not the right time for you to make a decision now. The only thing that it's time for is to take some actions, like working on your vibration, to try to come up on this emotional scale and feel better about yourself and everything. So that's the only thing that you should be focusing on when you're feeling negative emotions. Don't make a decision. However, when you're feeling good about yourself, your circumstances, life in general, then, and you still feel that you would like to leave, or you kind of think that leaving would be a better solution or a better decision than staying, then I think you know the answer. So for me, I would definitely just try to analyze myself and my feelings first of all. Is this uncertainty? Is this something that keeps coming back to me? Because if it does, then it's definitely something I need to pay attention to. And then I would also probably ask for a sign. And then I would also make sure that whenever I get to make the decision, or whenever I think about the staying and the leaving, am I in a good, a positive, or a negative feeling state? And there's one more very important thing that keeps coming up in these stories that I hear from other women that I really want to address right now. And that's, you know, when a third person comes into the picture and becomes the reason for you to want to leave. Now, this is something I have a very strict rule about for myself, you know, for my life. And, you know, if I was to give advice to any of my friends, I would tell them the same. Never, ever leave someone for someone. Never. Like, leave your current relationship because of you. Because you want to. And then give yourself the chance to meet someone new. Why? Because that's the only correct way. That's the only ethical way. And because I believe that this third person comes most of the time just to serve as, you know, someone to open your eyes up. They don't necessarily stay, or they don't necessarily meant to be your forever partner. But they have to come to wake you up, to open your eyes up, to shake up the scene. And that's it. Of course, it can last, because there's always exception to the rule. But I believe that the majority of the time, these were not meant to be long-lasting relationships. But this is just how I think about it. And I heard Greg Braden talk about this in one of his videos, and it was pretty interesting because he says that when someone comes into your life who has a piece of you that you lost, given away, or had taken away, you're going to feel this magnetic attraction to this person. And the best thing then to do is to be in their presence, you know, to have just a regular, normal conversation with them and watch. Try to find what is that missing piece that you have lost, given away, or had taken away that he probably has in himself intact. It could be qualities like self-confidence, or it could be physical attributes, like he takes care of his body and maybe you haven't been doing that for a while. Something that is missing in you, something that you kind of wish for yourself, or you miss having. And once you understand, or once you find this missing piece, you will understand the whole attraction to this person. You will recognize that one thing that drew you to that person. You're gonna get a grip on it. So you will be able to make a decision. Should you stay in something that you have worked for such a long time and you have established something with your current partner? Should you stay in that? Or you should just give it up and leave everything behind and start something new with this new person? I personally don't support that. But instead of just letting yourself become a victim of the circumstances, you could take this more conscious approach and make sure that you can actually make the decision with a clear head. Because if you approach this more consciously, you can look at this person as a mirror for your dysfunctionality or that missing piece. And you could use it wisely. You could turn it around and use it to identify, regrain, or recreate that missing piece in you. So he could serve as a reminder or as an example. And what Greg says is that once you do that, the attraction will probably fade away. So this third person might have just come to fill that hole in you. And being able to look at it consciously will put you in a state where you can, just make a decision instead of being pushed around by your desires. You can, of course, close your current chapter and start something new with this new person. But there's a huge possibility that after a while, once he has filled this emptiness or this hole in you, the attraction will fade. The attraction will fade away once you sort of wake up. So to sum it up, here is what I would tell myself or my best friend if she was in the situation of contemplating getting a divorce, but she wasn't like 100% sure. Number one, do not leave for a third person. Never. First, end your relationship if you're sure about it. Then give yourself the chance to find someone else. Second, always make sure that you're making the decision from a good feeling state. When you're happy, content, satisfied about yourself, your life, your circumstances. Number three, if you decide to go, just make sure that you are aware that it is going to be rough. Even if you're the one who initiates the divorce, it's going to be pretty rough emotionally and probably financially too. And, in so many aspects, it's going to be rough. Everyone has to go through the grieving process. Number four, make sure that you have a good support system, like family and friends. But if you don't have that, if you happen to be surrounded by people who will probably not stand by you once you make this decision, maybe you have family who's going to be embarrassed of you, or they just say that they're not going to support your decision because you're just stupid to leave this amazing husband, then get ready for something even harder, a tougher journey. But know that there is life and there is love after divorce as well. I would also, maybe tip number five or something, but I would also try to ask for a sign from the universe, to get that extra push in making the decision. And the last one, let's say number 6, would be for you to know that this is something I truly believe in. Those who are brave enough to initiate a change in their life, hoping for the better, are normally supported. That's just my experience and my philosophy. If you are brave enough to stand up for yourself and make a change in your life, because you know that it has the possibility to lead you to something greater, bigger, better, happier, you're gonna get support on the way. So if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you want to, I would love you to. In that case, please also press the bell sign, so just to make sure that you get notified every time I publish a video. I'd love to keep in touch with you, and yeah, I hope to see you again soon. Take care, bye. If you want a more intimate content and daily communication, please go and join my Facebook group called Kinga, Kremer and Friends.